I think it goes without saying that owning a PlayStation and not being familiar with Uncharted is a crazy concept. I think it also goes without saying that Uncharted is not a game people want to miss out on. Honestly, I got my PlayStation 3 solely for Uncharted 2. Granted, there are many other reasons, but an Uncharted 2 demo made me quickly fork over my money for a PlayStation. As many know, Uncharted 3 was released not long ago, and it had some huge shoes to fill after the second game, and Naughty Dog knew this, and they took great confidence in the fact that Uncharted 3 would go beyond the beautiful yet engaging Uncharted 2. Reviews flew out on it, and they were all impressive scores. Now, I may have had my expectations too high because I, on the other hand, did not see it as a 10 out of 10 game. Now, don't get me wrong, I still loved the hell out of this game, but I have my issue, and I just wanted to do a full review after I saw most reviews and give my thoughts on it, because I think if you walk into Uncharted 3 expecting perfection, you may be left disappointed at the end. I'm also going to try to stay spoiler-free about the game, but some things need to be brought up to understand why I have issues with this game. So if you can't handle some simple spoilers, stop watching now.
Perfect. Here we go.
Uncharted 3 follows the same characters from previous games and follows a familiar concept. Nathan's ancestor, of course, went on an expedition and he never spoke of it, so Nathan takes his crew on an adventure to find out why. This time around, though, the story really focuses on Nathan and Sullivan's relationship. This, of course, is great subject matter because to me, Nathan and Sullivan are the modern-day pairing of people like Doc and Marty from Back to the Future. It's a great combination and their relationship definitely deserved the exploration. They even take the time to go into the past and talk about how Drake and Sullivan came to be. I'm not going to dig too deep into this because of spoilers, but it is an excellent idea that sadly was abandoned quickly as the game progressed, which seemed to leave a lot open that the players had questions about. The game also offers a new villain who fills the shoes very well. Her name is Catherine Marlowe, and she is also after what Drake is seeking and really stops at nothing to do what she can to slow Drake down. This is where one of my issues lie. She really gets into Drake's head and changes a lot of the things that we have grown comfortable with in the previous stories. The things she says are never truly confirmed or followed up with, and of course some of us wait for more backstory on this and about her, but we never get it. She comes to a simple end and the player is left to wonder how she knew so much or if she just lied. And it's not like Naughty Dog addressed this either. They actually end with Drake feeling like everything was resolved, wherein I feel this is not the case. Now again, don't get me wrong, the story was a decent story and it kept the player involved. The conversations, or shall we say banter, between well-established characters was of course very well done. But you can tell Naughty Dog focused too much this time on impressive set pieces and really excellent sequences that they kind of drop the ball on the story. It starts off feeling fresh and new, giving the players a lot of new ground, but then it seems like the story gets dropped and the focus becomes all about groundbreaking technology and over-the-top moments. This really doesn't tear away from the gameplay that we just absolutely love, but with a reputation of telling a great story, I was really let down because from the trailers, they were really pushing the story with Nathan and Sullivan and not the action. Recently, Naughty Dog has even come out and said that they don't write the story first, they actually sit down and pick places they haven't been before, then they talk about high action scenes like the falling train or the crashing airplane. They focus on how they can make that playable, and then they write the story around the locations and set pieces they pick. Some may like this idea, but I really felt that it hindered them in telling a great story that held the equivalent of blockbuster movies like National Treasure or Indiana Jones, which is what they really set out to be like, but in the form of a game. Another thing that I guess can be placed in the story department, even though it's a minor complaint. Okay, Naughty Dog does an amazing job of making Drake very alive in his environment, so outsiders watching you play still feel like they are watching a movie and not a game. Drake may grab a wall in passing, he may make a smart-ass comment in gunplay, scream when a grenade is near or a bullet clips him, he may argue with another character on screen while you work on a puzzle or move forward. There really are no dull moments in the game. So you come to have compassion on Drake as the game moves forward, and the game can at times make some huge, unrealistic changes when playing. I know it's a video game, I get that. But I feel like Naughty Dog tries to make Drake as lifelike and relatable as possible. So when I take Drake through a scorching desert and search for water because he is about to die due to dehydration and he keeps falling down and then suddenly I'm thrown into gunplay after drinking a sip of what Drake calls undrinkable water and he seems to no longer be in pain, I can't help but be a little upset with the lack of detail that they always focus on and then suddenly don't even address. Now, the gameplay is excellent. No doubt about that here. If you don't care much for Uncharted's story, then you will love the set pieces and the gameplay moments in this game. I can clearly clearly say that they top their high action moments from Uncharted 2. The game also puts a heavier push on melee this time around with hand-to-hand combat. It clearly is an improvement from previous installments, and it seems to borrow from more successful games such as Batman's excellent fight sequences, allowing for quick maneuvers, counters, and just plain straight attack. The gunplay has always been a bit weird in some third-person shooters, so this is a nice change of pace to know that at times you can focus on stealth killing or straight hand-to-hand action. The game still focuses on puzzles and a lot of climbing around to get in through buildings that, even though as ancient as time, still have the ability to have locked doors with no other entrances except for the highest point of the building. Now, these puzzles can prove to be very challenging and yet very enjoyable. To me, this was always one of Uncharted's selling points, and I have no reason to complain there. You still have Drake's journal to help you through the puzzles too when you get stuck, so it's all familiar ground. I will admit that the game had some terrible difficulty spikes compared to previous games, and I'm not talking about non-stop respawning enemies either. I'm referring to moments that seem like a breeze of hand-to-hand combat, and then being stuck up against a wall with sniper rifles all lined up on you, heavy armored shotgunmen, and fast-approaching AI with riot shields that become almost impossible to take out without grenades or plenty of ammo. And these moments come out of nowhere too. The AI does act more lifelike and come for you full-fledged, but coming out of cover just to attack a riot shield guy could end in death so quickly by a shotgun, blast, or a sniper. This may be a plus for you guys thinking Uncharted was never challenging, but it feels way out of place, and these difficulty spikes made me want to throw my controller through my TV so many times. But overall, this is still A+ work, and I'm honestly more impressed with these moments in the game than previous installments, even though I didn't think it could get much better than Uncharted 2. The game also this time around offers split-screen co-op missions, and of course this can be played online, and you have the online multiplayer. I won't dive too deep into this because it deserves its own review, but for a third-person shooter heavily focused on story and campaign versus multiplayer, Uncharted did a damn good job, so that is a great add-on to this title. Now the graphics are just amazing. Seriously, this is one of the best looking games of its time. There's so much to marvel at: the scale of the city in the distance, the shadowing in the jungle as the sun breaks through the gaps, the sand in the desert. Uncharted even goes as far as having sand sticking to Drake's clothes and hair. The character models look so realistic that it just pulls you in, and it makes you really feel like not only Drake's environment is alive, but that you are breathing and living in that game with the characters. It truly is impressive, and the scale of some sets is just something other developers can only dream of being capable of doing. The voice acting is just phenomenal. I think that is a given with Uncharted, but I can honestly replay an Uncharted game over and over and never skip a cutscene because I enjoy the voice actors and how they can bring the characters alive and make them feel so relatable to us. Really, I have no complaints there. The soundtrack, the voice acting, sound effects, it's all top quality if you ask me. Look, seriously, don't get me wrong. Uncharted 3 deserves every reward it's gonna get, and it deserves being in the spotlight, and it deserves being proud to be a PlayStation 3 exclusive, but I just don't think it's a perfect game. I think it has its flaws and could use some work and could be a bit better. And as a fan who expected a 10 out of 10 game, I just want to be honest with my viewers so they don't walk in expecting pure perfection. The game has left a lot open in terms of questions about Drake's past, and even his and Elena's history between Uncharted 2 till Uncharted 3. Yes, now maybe this could be addressed in a future installment, but it doesn't seem like they did it as a cliffhanger, because the game ties up quite well. So if anything, do expect a great game with beautiful sets, great actors, and dialogue, but don't expect the story of Nathan Drake to take you places that the game hints at from the start. It still has some awkward gunplay moments, frustrating difficulty spikes, a story with some unaddressed plot holes, and a quick and abrupt ending that leaves you feeling a little empty. But do know it's still an impressive title, and one to be set as an example for others to follow. These are my thoughts, and I hope you see them for that exactly, but if you own a PlayStation 3 and you don't have an Uncharted game, then fix this now, because overall you will still have an experience like no other.